Hey guys, welcome back to Believe in Eagles, presented by FanDuel. I'm your host, Leigh Mayock, and joining us, as always, is my dad, Mike Mayock. Hey, Dad.
Hey, Annie, how are you?
Good. What is your hat says the Bay? What is the Bay?
The Bay. It's a great bay down the Jersey Shore, Summers Point, and that's where I play golf in the spring and with a bunch of knuckleheads and compete a little bit.
Oh, I was gonna say I thought it was gonna be like San Francisco, but because don't they call that the Bay Area? And I was gonna say that was kind of lame of you because we're not really San Francisco Bay people.
We were for 1 year with the Oakland Bay.
Yeah, but we were in Oakland.
Anyway.
Okay, Okay, we have a lot to talk about because Howie Roseman just did very Howie Roseman things.
Yeah.
Trade deadline just came and went, and he was active AF. Tell us, do you know what AF means?
I don't want to know.
He was very active. He was very active. He cooked, as the kids would say. Can you tell us the transactions that he made and what they could mean for this team right now?
Yeah, I think the biggest one was on the final day, the third round pick to Miami for Jalen Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of work on Jalen Phillips over the years, and he's a really good football player. First round pick. He was an all rookie team guy. I think it was, 21? He played really well, 22. Then he had an Achilles and an ACL the last 2 years. So that's kind of, why he's available, because the last couple of years have been bad from an injury perspective. So Miami's not playing well. They fire the GM. They're ready to get rid of some people. This is a classic Howie move. It's a really talented kid, former number one pick that has fallen into some issues, in this case, injury. He's played well this year. I had a Miami game earlier this year, watched his tape. He looked like Jalen Phillips to me. So they're going to give up a third-round pick. The key to note is they gave up their own third round. They have another one that they got with the Jets. So they were able to keep the Jets pick, which is going to be early in the round, while giving Miami the later pick that should be hopefully very late in the round. I think it does all kinds of good things for the Eagles. You pair him with Nolan Smith when he gets off IR, who's been on the 21-day window right now. Jalix Hunt. And I kind of my mind starts working with Vic Fangio and they could have a NASCAR group basically of Jalix Hunt on one side, Nolan Smith on the other, Jalen Carter inside, and Jalen Phillips inside. Because Jalen Phillips can rush the quarterback outside or inside, which I think is another one of the big pluses for him. So I thought that move, Leigh, was like everybody was talking about trying to get the guy in Cleveland, Myles Garrett.
Yep.
And there's no way that was going to happen. And this is the guy I think they probably targeted all the way along.
So he can fit in immediately. Like Monday, He's good to go.
And he played a year with Vic Fangio when Vic was in Miami. So he knows the system. He knows the terminology. I'd be stunned if he doesn't get a minimum of 20-plus snaps this week.
Okay,
if he's healthy, assume he's healthy.
You mentioned his injuries. Is he healthy right now? Is he?
Yeah, he's been healthy and played all year. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So talk about the other transactions that Howie made before the trade deadline.
Yeah, there were two in the defensive backfield. One was Jair Alexander, another former first-round pick.
Another guy that has had problems staying healthy, right?
Yeah, last couple of years. He went from being an all-pro and a Pro Bowl guy in Green Bay. Baltimore signed him in the offseason. I saw him working out in training camp, thought he looked really good. But he only played 2 games early for Baltimore and hasn't really played much at all since. So they didn't give up much. I forget, a 7th-round pick, I believe, for Jair Alexander. So I think what they tried to do was they got Michael Carter, who's more of a nickel, right? They got him, I think, for a 5 and a 6. But they get Michael Carter, who's a good nickel. They get an outside corner who's more of he's a former number one, an older guy. And they also have the kid they traded for with the Raiders, Jacorian Bennett, early in the year, coming back off IR. So here's what I think they're thinking, Vic, and I think they're saying, okay, we need to get better at that one outside corner position, but how do we do it? We know that if you look at nickel and outside corner, Cooper DeJean can play both of them. So what's the best combination to pair with him of these three guys? We could keep him at nickel, which is what I think they want to do because he's so good at nickel. So they would love Jacorian Bennett or Jair Alexander to step up. Or if they really feel like they have to, they could put Michael Carter in the slot and kick Cooper outside. But I don't think they want to do that.
Okay. Now then, people are talking about Jihad Campbell might be able to play back inside where he's used to?
Well, when they drafted Campbell, they knew he was an off-the-ball linebacker with an ability to rush the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So the last couple of weeks, he was on the edge more than he was playing linebacker. Nakobe Dean's back.
Yep.
Right? So he didn't play as many snaps their last game, mostly because they were teaching him the sub package. And that's a lot of stuff to learn. So they couldn't play him a lot. So it'll be interesting to see with a bye week in hindsight now behind them. What do they do with Jihad? How much does he get off the ball? And how much are they committed him to play edge? I love him as an off-the-ball linebacker with an upside rushing anywhere. Oh. So I just think it's cool that what they're doing with Nakobe Dean back is they're giving themselves more chess pieces for Vic Fangio to figure out how to best use them as they get more healthy.
Why, just in general, and I know we've kind of talked about this before, why is Howie, how does he consistently land as like a winner of like trade deadlines, free agencies, drafts? Like, why is he so good at this?
I think number one is he's not afraid.
Okay.
And I don't think that, I think that should be kind of in all caps. He's not afraid to make a mistake like most of the world.
Right.
Well,
is that because he's not afraid of like losing his job because he has everyone behind him?
I think that's part of it. And I told you the story on an earlier one, which I'm not going to go through, how, when Chip Kelly had final say and how he got somewhat demoted. He spent a whole year basically talking to GMs from soccer teams and basketball and baseball. And I think he came back kind of like a little bit humbled and a little bit hungry, like, hey, let's just go. Let's go. The worst thing you can do is be afraid to make a move.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure you think it's the right. And that's what he said this week. They asked him why he made all these moves. I thought it was the right thing to do. He's not afraid. If Jalen Phillips gets hurt tomorrow, Monday night, it doesn't change the fact in my mind that he made the right decision. So he comes up with a salary cap background. He understands the cap and the collective bargaining agreement, maybe better than any GM in football. I don't know. But he's so well-rounded. He trusts the people in his building. And when it comes time to pull the trigger, he does.
Okay. Packers are coming up.
Yep.
Eagles have new chess pieces, as we just discussed. One of those chess pieces also happens to be Brandon Graham.
Yep.
Do you think he's going to be back and ready to play? Will he be?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Well, we talked before, what was it, the Giants game, and I told you I didn't.
You didn't think he'd be ready then?
No, yeah. No. But given the bye week, I'm guessing, and now they have Jalen Phillips. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
If Jalen Phillips plays 20 or 30 snaps, which I think he will, I don't know when they're going to get Nolan Smith back. So you're kind of, will B. Graham get 12, 15 snaps? Probably. Yeah.
Okay, this is fun. All right, so we're game planning against the Packers. What are the keys to this game? Packers are I thought Packers were like legit contenders. I still kind of think they are. They just kind of threw me last weekend losing to the Panthers.
Well, they also lost to Cleveland. So their two losses are to two teams that, the Panthers have a winning season right now. So I don't mean to take a shot. But they have two bad losses.
Yeah.
They tied Dallas like 40-40. They're a good football team that plays inconsistently, especially at the quarterback position. Mm-hmm. I still don't know what Jordan Love is. I mean, 2 years ago, I thought he was a highly ascending potential franchise quarterback. Last year, I thought he took a step back. This year, he's been a combination of both. And last week, he wasn't very good. He threw an awful interception on 1st and 10 into like 3 defenders that had no chance of being completed. It's just they're an up and down team right now, Leigh. So I would
And
tell
are
you.
they, I'm sorry to interrupt you, are they
Yeah.
an up and down team mainly because Jordan Love is inconsistent, or what do you think?
Well, that's a big piece of it. Your quarterback and his consistency is a huge piece of who you are as a team. So his numbers on paper look good.
Mm-hmm.
I do think you can harass him a little bit if you get him off his spot. If you hurry up his clock a little bit, he's not a big runner. He's a good athlete, but he's not like he's a big runner. And if you get him thinking a little bit, he's a different quarterback. So I think that is one of the keys. Disrupt him, get him off rhythm. I think another one is turnovers. The Eagles have turned the ball over 3 times this year. Green Bay 5 times. That's the 2 best in football.
Oh.
Okay. Now, when they played each other last year in the playoff game, the wild card, the Eagles were +4 in turnover differential. And Green Bay played pretty well outside of that. But Jordan Love had 3 interceptions, and the Eagles rolled, I think it was 22-10. So turnovers are a really big deal here. The Eagles have an advantage in the red zone. Their offense is one of the best in the league, and Green Bay's defense is poor in the red zone. They have to take advantage of that. And they can't let Josh Jacobs roll. Josh
And he's
is one
rolling.
of those guys. And well, you and I know that he gets better the more touches he gets.
Yeah.
So if they get this game in the 4th quarter and they're leading, or it's a really close game, and Josh has 18 carries going in the 4th quarter, watch out, because they'll grind the hell out of him. So those are just some things that go over through the top of my head as we think about this matchup.
Wait, do you feel the same as me though when you're watching this game? Like, obviously I'm rooting for the Eagles, but when like a Josh gets the ball, like I'm still also rooting for Josh.
So you're also rooting for Keyshawn Nixon?
Yeah, like our guys, like our Raiders guys.
He's their starting corner.
I know. But our core Raiders guys, like the couple core that we had, I still like root for them, and then I have to like kind of hold back a little because I'm like, don't like do well, but don't do like well enough to win.
I spend every Sunday pretty much rooting for my buddies.
Yeah.
And even though obviously we're Eagles fans because we grew up there, I still root for my buddies. One of my biggest buddies is Rich Bisaccia, the assistant head coach of Green Bay.
Yep.
So there's Bisaccia, there's Josh Jacobs, there's Keyshawn Nixon, and Nate Hobbs was their other starting corner until a few weeks ago when he got hurt.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that, a lot of those guys who I'm kind of like, they're my guys.
Okay, what about Eagles offense? Do you think they're going to look as put together as 2 weeks ago?
Well, it's kind of like we've been talking about all season, Leigh. It's just, it's a process. That's boring. People don't want to hear that, but that's the way I look at it. And I thought
like the trust the process.
Well,
their process is not doing too
I thought Kevin Patullo did a nice job the last 2 games. 6 offensive linemen. They went some tempo. They got under the center more, play action off being under center, hitting Smitty on in-breaking routes, seams and digs, so they've done a bunch of stuff, and I won't get into technical stuff, both in the run and pass game, which has been better, and it's challenged defenses more. So it'll be interesting because Jeff Hafley is the defensive coordinator. Another guy, he was a Boston College head coach up until a couple of years ago. Another guy I know well. Be interesting to see how Jeff handles what they've been doing recently, because they're one of the most balanced defenses in the league. They're top 10 against both the run and the pass, but they're not real disruptive. They don't have many turnovers. So it'll be interesting to see what Jeff tries to take away, because they're really good against the run. They're 4th or 5th in the league. Is he going to try and take away the Eagles' run game? How heavy will he stack? Is he not worried about what they can do in the pass game? It'll be really interesting, and it'll be interesting to see how Patullo handles what Green Bay does.
Have you watched much tape on Green Bay offense? I have a question about Matt Golden.
I haven't seen. I did some earlier in the year and did some clips this week. But what's your Matt Golden question?
I thought he was like a top name coming out of the
Yeah,
draft. And
yeah.
like I just haven't seen much. And I know like I think I've seen reports that he's been frustrated. And do you think they're like not using him correctly, or like what do you think is going on with him?
So he was their first wide receiver picked in the first round in like 20 some years.
Yeah, and he was coming out
And
of Texas, like highly regarded, right?
yeah, and he flies. And I don't think there's anything wrong with who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Romeo Doubs had
Mm-hmm.
been their leading receiver, and really their go-to guy was the tight end that got hurt last week, Tucker Kraft.
Mm-hmm.
He tore his ACL, so he's out for the year.
Yep.
So really, it's a good question by you at this time of the year, because all of a sudden Tucker Kraft had the most receiving yards. He had the most TDs. He averaged over 15 yards a catch, and it was pretty plain that the quarterback trusted the tight end.
Right.
So now Golden, I want to say he's got like 22, 23, 24 or 5 catches, but they haven't been huge. And with his speed, you expect big chunks.
Yeah.
The averaging plus or minus 10 yards a catch. So you expect that the other receivers are going to have to pick up because of losing Tucker Kraft.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be his opportunity. And rookie receivers, there are a lot of things you got to learn when you get in the NFL, how to read coverages, how to read post-snap and pre-snap. Pre-snap, it might look like single high. Post-snap, it's 2. Now all of a sudden you're adjusting your route, and it's not easy.
Mm-hmm. That just made me think of our Eagles receivers. Do you think in any world AJ Brown was on the trading block? You can't shake your head. This is a podcast. Some people only listen.
You probably hear the rattle.
So, guys, my dad just shook his head vehemently. No. Can you explain why?
Yeah, because I don't think Howie's in the business of getting rid of one of his 2 or 3 best players.
Okay.
And one of the best players at that position in the league. And even though it's been pick your whatever, has he been a pain in the butt? Has he been a major? Is it just who cares? Like, you and I are not in the locker room. Right. We don't know how big a deal it is. Like, I've been around guys in my life where you just go, that's him. That's who he is. Who cares?
Yeah,
and it doesn't bother you a whole lot, right? Mm-hmm. Other times it gets under people's skin and it becomes a major problem. Mm-hmm. So as much as we all talk about it in the media, I never got the sense that it was gotten to a point where anybody was thinking of getting rid of one of their best players.
I honestly, I don't agree with you that much. I honestly have to agree with you. Like, but I think it's that you and I have seen so much worse diva receivers and diva behavior of players that, like, he seemed like an angel.
Well, just because one of them showed up in a hot air balloon to training camp with burns from a cryogenic chamber in Paris, France.
And called you a cracker? Yeah. That's why. That's pretty much why. Wait, okay. So here's the other thing, Dad, that shocked me today. So I was looking up, because it's Thursday, so I have to get my bets in on FanDuel. I was looking at the odds, the lines, all the things, because like that's my thing now. FanDuel has the Green Bay Packers favored over the Eagles for Monday Night Football. Are you surprised?
I would guess that their reasoning is that they rarely lose at home, even though they did last week.
Okay.
And A, they rarely lose at home. B, they're smarting from a bad loss.
Okay.
And they've been salivating to get the Eagles there for the entire season. So
they're taking all that like emotion into effect, like
Well, I think they already think that they're a really good football team, and the Eagles have been up and down all year.
But it's the Eagles. They just made all these huge trades for good people. Brandon Graham is back. The Eagles offense just looked put together. And again, it's the Eagles. Like, I think it's crazy. So they have the Eagles money line. Remember, the money line is just win or lose. Eagles plus 114. So like, that's crazy. You win money. Like, so I just think everyone should pound the Eagles money line like crazy. I'm putting money on the Eagles money line. Like, mark it down. Okay. I think you are. I mean, I think you're stealing money on the Eagles money line this week.
Oh my God, that's a kiss of death.
Honestly, we really can't do any worse than we've been doing with our FanDuel predictions on this podcast all year anyway.
Don't say we.
I'm saying we because I'm making my predictions for the people based off your analysis. So I'm saying we're a we.
No,
Yeah.
we're not.
Nothing was worse than our 3-leg parlay on the when the Eagles lost to the Giants.
Leigh, it's all you. Have fun.
No, it's a we. But isn't that insane? The spread I think is like 2.5 points, but the Eagles money line is plus 114 on FanDuel.
Well, I think you ought to jump all over whatever bet you want, and I got to get moving here, honey.
Okay, sorry. Thanks for being here. Love you a lot. Everybody take the Eagles money line, even though my dad is a little trepidatious about it. Is that the word? Yeah. Don't give me that face. That was correctly used.
I didn't say it wasn't.
Okay, look it up. All right, thanks, guys. This is Believe in Eagles presented by FanDuel. We will be back next week. Thanks, guys.